Call the Board of Public Works meeting of Monday, May 18th to order. Number 2, approval of minutes of May 4. Motion by Mr. Fire, second by Mr. Fisher. Corrections, comments? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries.
Sorry, we need to do a roll.
Oh, yeah, we do. Roll call, please, Dan.
I apologize, we're doing roll call votes here, so, Fire.
Yes.
Butke.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
Bargender.
Yes.
Rosendich.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, now we'll do citizens' comments. Did we get anybody calling in?
We had no comments provided ahead of time.
Okay, and I see no citizens here, so we'll move on. Number 4, construction update presented by Chris Hawley, street superintendent. Chris.
Good evening, everybody. I wanted to, I sent you out a hard copy later this afternoon on everything we have scheduled for 2020 and leftover 2019 projects. I want to get a harder construction schedule for you guys in the future, but one thing to note on it is I have them in order, like how we want to proceed with the project. So for instance, in the overlay project, we're working on South Oak, and then from there, we're going to go to Pete and 14th and so forth. And in the Mill and Place projects, we started on North Hills and Wood. We'd like to then proceed to Fairview, 4th, Mulberry, in that order, as you see that in the sheet. Also note on that sheet that Downwoods Drive cul-de-sac is being converted to an asphalt street, and we are coordinating our timeline with maps and joint excavating because we have a window when they're waiting for the outdoor kennels to establish grass before they open up. So once they're done doing all their final restoration, planted the grass and stuff, they got a couple weeks that they want to get grass established in those outdoor kennels, and that's when we'll move in and take out the existing concrete and do a little bit of curb work, catch base work, and get that back before they open up. So with that, things are moving right along for us. The pandemic didn't slow down the workload at all, that's for sure. So I want to start with the mill and replace projects. North Hills and Wood, like I said, got pulverized today. The ditching and tiling is completed on Wood, and it's nearly completed on North Hills already. With that, the Zoo Road, the Upper Pond Zoo Road is getting some work for Park and Rec. The pulverizer is here, and they'll be pulverizing that tomorrow also. That can sit for a while. We also have a little bit of ditching and tiling to do up there for the Park Rec. As far as the rest of the mill and replace projects, everything is scheduled out like you see on the sheet here. The other things that we have going on right now is the 2019 mill and replace projects that still need topsoiling. So tomorrow we're going to start on Edison between Palmetto and Hinman, and from there we're going to go 28th Washington to Butternut, and then from there we're going to go to Severance and Omaha. We want to get those streets topsoiled and mulched to help with the erosion control out there. And then we do have touch-up work to do out on Ives and Schmidt, and a little bit left to do on Ridge. So that'll all be kind of in conjunction on how we're going to lay construction out season. Street painting, our street painter is up and running. We're going to start marking things out. City Hall last year got a steel coat on it, and we're going to stripe that. Maybe as early start that project tomorrow, and then paint it maybe as early as Wednesday. And then I talked to Dan this afternoon, and we're talking about if the 2nd Street one-way corridor is laid out, we probably want to paint that before the library opens up. Sanitary manhole replacements, we took care of that earlier this spring. We had four manholes, and we got 3 of them done already that we replaced. We still have one on the schedule for the corner intersection of 13 and Adams to be replaced yet. And there's 2 leftover manholes that won't get replaced yet this year because of the Ash Avenue. It got delayed because of the water department wasn't ready for it. So we will put them in next year. Miscellaneous work, forestry stump holes are completed. Our snowfall damage, everything that we had on our list is done and seeded and topsoiled. Any calls that we get now, we can run out and then hit them as calls come in, but we've got a good handle on that. Street sweeping's ongoing, patching's ongoing. Other miscellaneous ditching work that needs to be finished up is we did some work out by the airport late last fall. It's topsoil, we just got to go out there and touch it up. Behind the cemetery, over by the apartments back there on the west side of that property, that was all topsoil. We just have to go in there, remove some piles and some brush and pulverize that and seed it. And then, of course, up by the armory, 26 circle, 27 circle. There's some touch-ups to do up there, along with taking down some silt. So, like I said, it's we got a good spring. We got a lot of work started already, a lot of work done, and just hope for good weather. That's my report for this evening. Any questions?
Anybody have any questions? I don't see any, so we'll move on to Tom Purchase, City Engineer. Tom.
All right. The big project we have going right now is the Cleveland Street, Daggy to Central Avenue. We Energies is on site and they're completing their relocation of the 8-inch gas main. Their work began Monday, the 20th. Earth Incorporated has installed the temporary water main, and they are right now sawing with their subcontractor all the saw cuts for the project. They're busting concrete and starting to get ready to do excavation. Materials were delivered on site. One interesting little fun fact is that one 20-foot stick of 16-inch water main weighs 1,400 pounds, so each one that they put in is going to be pretty heavy. I included a couple photos of that 16-inch water main. Sanitary sewer replacement on Oak Avenue between Cleveland and Blodgett will begin this week also. We held a public informational meeting on Wednesday, April 29th on this project, and plans and specs plus the broadcast that is still on our website. Sanitary sewer lining contract 2020-02. Visitor Sewer is into the lining project and is doing about 700 or 800 feet of lining per week. Prairie Drive is put on hold. And Chris hit the majority of the mill in place projects. We've got 85% of them surveyed and designed, and we're staying well ahead of what their needs are over there. So if there's any questions on engineering division projects, please ask.
Any questions for Tom? Okay, I see none. Thank you, guys. Number 5, approval of temporary banner on the outfield fence of the JP Olson West field at the corner of Veterans Parkway and Oak Avenue. Presented by Dan Connect, Director of Public Works. Dan.
Thank you. I'm going to try to share my screen here as we move on. We'll see if this works. Okay, I wanted to just show you the photo here. So city staff had been approached by the Parents Association of Marshfield High School about the possibility of hanging a banner to recognize the graduating students. And this banner we're looking at somewhere in the area of Veterans Parkway and Oak Avenue intersection. Is there still an echo in here? Let me see. Is that better? Is that better? Okay. With the COVID-19 pandemic, the graduation ceremony has been put on hold. But the Parents Association would still like to do something special to recognize their seniors. They also plan to reach out to the Columbus High School parents to see if they would like to participate. So in the photo shows kind of the proposed location of the banner that they would like to hang. Somewhere along that outfield fence, it may be further or closer to that retaining wall, more towards the left side of the screen. So it's visible from Veterans Parkway, and it may be a little higher than the fence up on that screening poles there just to get it off the ground a little bit, but essentially facing the trail and Veterans Parkway. As you know, we've not normally allowed banners of this sort on city property. There used to be a policy that allowed banners on the pedestrian overpass and the Peach Avenue overpass, but some years ago that policy was changed and now prohibits banners on the public right-of-way. However, we do recognize that this is a very extenuating situation, and that a one-time exception could be considered in this case. The banner they're looking for is approximately 20 feet by 8 feet. That would be if it's just with the Marshfield High School students.
Columbus students would add a little bit of size to that banner. But it does require an alternative sign permit, and that is scheduled to go before the Plan Commission tomorrow night. The Parents Association was asking the following things of the city. First off, just permission to hang the banner on the outfield fence. Then they're looking for some assistance from the street division to help put up and take down that banner. They'd like to have the banner up by May 31st and keep it up for at least 2 weeks, the graduation period. And then there is a permit fee of $150. They're asking for that to be waived. We reviewed this internally with the street department and Parks and Recreation staff and have the following feedback. That it should be a one-time request based on these extenuating circumstances at this time. That the timeframe clearly be defined in the approval, that we identify who's going to take it up and put it down. If for some reason the banner would be damaged due to high winds or vandalism, we would suggest it be removed immediately. And then determine responsibility for damage to the fence in a high wind situation. Be unlikely, but if something were to happen to the fence, how would we handle that? So if the Board of Public Works would view this request favorably, you could consider action to recommend approval of the temporary banner installation as a one-time occurrence based on the uncertainty of the graduation ceremonies and subject to those conditions. Again, the banner would be allowed on city property. You'd authorize the street division to assist with the installation and removal. Banner would be installed by May 31st and removed by June 15. The sign permit would be waived at $150. If the banner would be damaged or vandalized while up, it would be removed immediately. Damage to the fence due to a high wind situation would be the responsibility of the applicant and or any other conditions that the board would deem appropriate on this. If there's any questions on it, I'd be happy to try to answer those. Oh, yeah, let me see this here.
Okay. Any questions? Otherwise, I'd entertain a motion. I have a motion by Mr. Fires, second by Mr. Rosendin. Comments or questions? Roll call, please.
All right, Putke.
Yes.
Fire.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
Bargender.
Yes.
Rosendich.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carried.
Okay, number 6, award bid for columbarium project at the cemetery, presented by Justin Casperson, Director of Parks and Recreation. Justin.
All right, can everyone hear me okay?
Yep.
Yep. Yep. All right, originally my purpose of my memo was to approve the low bid from Wilbert Memorials for $28,450 for a new columbarium at the cemetery. This project was part of the 2020 CIP process and budgetary process. There had been a 64 double niche or 128 total niche columbarium. The entire budget for the project is $45,000, and it would have been out of the perpetual care fund. We received 3 bids last week, Thursday. We opened the bids. The low bid was Wilbert Memorials. After having a discussion with Wilbert Memorials, I found out today that they are not able to perform or get their columbarium as we specified. It's a different product than what we specified. So I'm not sure why they proposed a bid. We haven't got to that point. We have some other hoops to jump through. Obviously, with opening bids on Thursday and between the COVID thing and response there and everything else that's going on, I would ask that this be tabled until June 9th to find out more information from this company to see what they can do.
Justin would, and maybe Dan could answer this question. Did they have a bid bond? And if they did, do they forfeit that then?
That is one of the things we want to investigate.
Okay.
It would be possible that that might be an avenue we take here.
All right. Anybody have any other questions? Dan, go
I'll just
ahead.
point out, our next meeting is June 1st, not June 9th.
sorry.
So we would schedule this for the June 1st board meeting.
Anybody else have questions? All right, we'll move on. Number 7, a bid for 2020 Seal Code projects, presented by Dan Connect, Director of Public Works. Dan.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen one more time here. All right, looks like you can all see that. So we opened bids for our seal coating program last week, also on Thursday. We had 2 bidders, which we normally have for the last 20 years. We've had 2 bidders on our projects, and it seems to bounce back and forth between Scott Construction and Farner Asphalt. This year, Farner Asphalt was the low bid. You can see the totals there in the bid summary. We have a budget of about $100,000 for this. Their bid came in at $79,000. That allows us a little more room to do a couple more streets with that. And our contract language allows us to add or reduce quantities to meet budget availability. So we will adjust accordingly. We also, Scott Construction also has a product that we would like to try. And my initial discussion with them last week is that they would be willing to honor this price for a smaller quantity as a trial product. So we may do a small amount with Scott Construction via a purchase order based on this pricing here, if we can find the right location for that product. But in the end, between work by Scott and Farner, we would have $100,000 expenditure on seal coat program. Tonight, I'm asking for your approval of the contract with Farner Asphalt Sealers out of Clover for an amount not to exceed available budgeted funding and authorize execution of that. Let me stop sharing the screen here.
Okay, I would entertain a motion. Motion by Mr. Fisher, second by Mr. Rosendich. Questions? Okay, all those in favor of the motion, say aye. Or roll call, I'm sorry.
Right.
It's hard to change a dog's when he's been trained one way.
Roll call vote, Fire,
Yes.
Butke,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Bargender,
Yes.
Rosendich.
Yes.
Thank you, motion carries.
Okay. Number 8, presentation of wastewater compliance maintenance annual report, presented by Sam Warp, wastewater superintendent. Sam.
Thank you, Chairman Butke. In your packet, I included a few pages of the CMAR, which is a compliance maintenance annual report. The purpose of this report is to have the staff fill it out so they understand what the DNR is looking for at the plant, present it to the governing body, have a resolution, and then send it into the DNR. We had another very good year, received an A rating, which is up from last year. That's very nice. And we're going to go through just a few of the pages that I have here. If you would like a full report, it's available from the wastewater plant. Dan Connect will have a copy, and it'll be on the DNR website as well. The first page here is, I kind of point out that the septic tank and the holding tank waste, it equals about 3% of our total flow coming in. There actually is another category called industrial waste, but they have not updated the CMAR to have that yet. If you would throw that in too, that's our high strength and our cheese waste. Then the hauled in waste accounts for about 5% of the total flow. The next page shows off our phosphorus. This is kind of a happy point for us here. In the red box there, you'll see those numbers, they're all below 1. Our permit right now, we have to be at 1.0 or lower. So you can see when you're down in the 0.17, 0.19, even the 0.2 range, that's way under what's expected of us right now. The bottom 4 squares there, they're in blue. Those are over those other ones, still well below 1. That's when we were doing the construction this fall. We had 1 tank and we were putting in 2 additional tanks, but during the process, all the tanks were out of service. It just kind of shows just how important the high strength waste is to our system, and we need to have those tanks to meter it in. On a side note, our new permit will be coming probably in 2023, and our limit will be 0.34. So the ones in the red square there in the red box show that we can be under that already, which is a really good feeling right now. So more work to come yet, but we're going in the right direction anyway. The next page just kind of goes over some some of our goals, there we go. We try to jet or clean with high pressure water. Our goal is to do 42% of the city, and we were just short of that this last year. Our truck broke down several times. They weren't big items. I mean, one was a vacuum hose, but it's a specialized piece that we waited 3 weeks to get. One time the U-joints went out. Again, you got to wait till you get it in, get it fixed. It's just little things. That truck's in the CIP for the year 2022 for replacement. I guess we'll be happy when the new one comes, but it works. We keep after it. But because the cleaning crew was sidelined for a little bit, we could put more people on the televising crew. So our goal is 7% of the city a year, and we actually did 17%. Below it, the manhole inspections, our camera that we used for that broke last year. So I got it in the budget for this year to replace it. I ordered it in January. It's here. We've been using it quite a bit up on the Cleveland project right now already, oak, pine, and chestnut. So we'll have a much more favorable percentage in there next year when I give the report. The last real sheet with numbers on kind of shows you on the top there. Last year we had 48 inches of rain. Our normal year is 32. That's like getting another half a year of rain squeezed into the year. Created a lot of challenges at the wastewater plant. We had no lift station failures, no sewer pipe failures. We had 2 basement backups. They both occurred up in the Daggy and Apple area. Since then, we've installed some backflow preventers in the basements, worked with the homeowners on those issues to try to prevent that for right now. Hopefully we'll get back to a little bit more normal precipitation. Those problems go away. Otherwise, when we come up to the last page, it shows we had a perfect 4.0 all A rating. So there's no response needed. We just have the resolution. To have a wastewater plant and a collection system, the plant's 20 years old and the collection system is much older than that, and to end up with a perfect rating. Thanks go to the wastewater staff. The wastewater operators there take a lot of pride in what they're doing, and that's how we end up like this. It's good news.
So the recommended action is to approve resolution 2020-17 and refer to the Common Council for consideration. Motion by Mr. Fire, second by Mr. Bargain. Comments or questions? Steve.
Yeah, I hope you can hear me okay. It's just a comment. I know we've said this before, but I just want to commend Sam, Mark Kibla, and the entire staff. I've been here for 9 years, and I can't tell you how many positive comments and compliments I've gotten about our wastewater department. People who've been on the tour, people who've become aware of the different equipment and processes they use. Always been first rate, and I just want to give them commendation.
Thank you.
And you stole my thunder, Steve. I always, as this is really a good compliance, as they all are, but this one's even better yet. If Mr. Fire and Mr. Bargander would also, in the motion, say thanks to the staff. Mr. Bargander, do you agree? Thumbs up, I see. Great job, Sam and the staff. Pass that all along, please. Okay.
Thank you.
No questions for Sam, was there? When you have a good report like that, there normally isn't. So.
That's all right.
Yeah. Okay, number 9.
We'll vote on them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's,
Yeah, roll call, please.
Yes, okay, so roll call vote on the resolution 2020-17. Fire?
yes.
Butke?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Bargander?
Yes.
And Rosendich?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Number 9, update on one-way street for East 2nd Street, Maple to Cedar, presented by Dan Connect, Director of Public Works.
Yeah, thanks. This was just added to the agenda based on Alderman Fire's request at our last meeting. Chris and Tom have hinted that we're in position to get the striping and one-way implementation done, hopefully in coordination with opening of the community center and library. Whenever that happens, that full report on reopening city facilities will come to the council next week, and we want to be in position to complete this striping and implementation whenever that date is determined. So, as Tom mentioned, we've done the engineering, or the survey work to lay out the one-way will be done this week. And as Chris mentioned, the painting crew is now getting up to speed, so they'll be, ready to roll when the time comes. So that is our plan.
Any questions, anybody on that? That's for information only. Okay. Number 10, closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Statute Chapter 19.851E, deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. The item is sale of land on 8th Street and Hemlock, and sale of land on 8th Street and Holly Avenue. I'd entertain a motion to go into closed session. Mr. Bargender makes the motion. Second by Mr. Fire. Roll call, please.
All right. Fire.
Yes.
Butke?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Bargender?
Yes.
And Rosendich?
Yes.
We are in closed session. Thank you.